Hello, everyone. My name is Mason Schwaber, and I'm here with my co-host Reese Clayson on the Moto Vibe Show. Reese, what is up, my man?
Not much. How are you?
Living life, man. Living lavish. We're gonna try to make this show go by quickly, so let's get right into it, Reese. Just let's talk about last week. Craig goes down. 250
Yeah.
event. Craig goes down. Mosman capitalizes. What are your thoughts on how the 250 round went?
It's a race. Uh, it's a race that was kind of, in my eyes, it was kind of boring because the track didn't really present many options to pass
Hmm.
in my eyes because all the rhythms were the same and it just didn't seem like the whoops were definitely the biggest thing about it. But with the first turn crash, it really showed that I'm wrong. So Craig came all the way back to third, and I think it's one of the better rounds to watch because there was kind of had a lot of excitement at the beginning with the crash and just keeping an eye on Craig through the whole time. And I think it really showed how fast Craig is and how fast if he wants to go fast, he can.
Right.
Um, so I think the biggest takeaway is that Craig is the favorite and no one's really able to beat him right now.
Yeah. I definitely agree. That was a great ride by him. Um,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he was last, but he was damn near last.
No, he was last.
He was
He was
last. Yeah.
he was last.
And I think what people didn't realize about that race is he he goes last. Marchbanks is right there with him. Marchbanks is going just as fast as him, but he has something go wrong. He DNFs, but I mean,
Yeah.
Marchbanks, I think that was a top five ride if he could have finished the race by him. But it sucks for Garrett. On
And
the
that's the
last
thing
show.
is I think a lot of this narrative right now is that Star Racing is the only fast team, and it's like you got to look at the other guys. Like they're going fast too. Like Garrett, he rode great. Like he was catching Christian in the heat race. So
Yep.
you gotta open your eyes a little bit. And motocross fans are very stuck on who is the title favorite and who this. And I think the biggest thing is people need to realize other people are fast too, and it's not just going to be the same guy winning every round. And everything showed me right there because Christian Craig crashed off the start and he was dead last. So it's really anyone can win any night, and it's just how it goes.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And like one thing that I saw is like you said, there wasn't like a lot of places to pass really on this track. I think the one place that you could really pass is if you realize the whoop section
Mhm.
on that track, the whoop where it was a wide like bowl turn sort of.
Yeah,
If you
like it
went
was
super
like
out,
you
if
went back
yeah,
on the yeah.
where Freddie crashed,
Mhm.
I just think that if you went too outside, you're getting passed.
Yeah.
You're getting
Oh yeah.
passed, and I think that was really the only section you could really pass. I mean, it wasn't. It was by far the safest track they had, I'd say.
Yeah, out of the three, it definitely was. But the thing, like the way I looked at it is, I mean, it was set up to be a passing track in my eyes because they had a lot of 90-degree turns or 120-degree turns. But the problem was the obstacles were so difficult after those turns that no one wanted to try to pass because
Yeah.
you couldn't hit the obstacles. And I think that was just kind of how the track was, and the riders had to deal with it. But the whoops were definitely the problem. I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
were big, and
They were
we saw
massive.
multiple guys crash. I mean, I was watching qualifying, and the guy went through two laps in a row and crashed. I think it was Harmon, and it's just those whoops just want to break your soul, and
Yeah,
it's hard to keep confidence and to do it time and time again throughout a main.
I agree. And Mosman gets on the podium, gets his first race win. Congrats to him. I can't say I'm the biggest Mosman fan, but it's always great to see a new winner. And
Yeah,
he's one thing that you can always credit him is that he works hard. He you see it in his off-season posts, and you just see how frustrated he gets when he doesn't perform well, and that means you care and love the sport. So, congrats to Mosman on that one. Hunter Lawrence, Hunt, I thought you were going to win that one. I thought
I
he was going
think
to make the pass. I think if Jalik Swoll and Cole Thompson don't get caught up in that, I think he gets the pass and wins that race.
Yeah. I think if he doesn't fall, I mean,
Yep.
I think if he doesn't fall, he makes a pass and he's probably the winner, and Mosman has to wait another week to try to win. But I think the biggest that crash obviously what held him back. I mean, it's hard to go from on the ground to having 2 laps to try to pass him back. So, I mean, I give Hunter props. I think he's really showing that he cares and wants to win pretty bad. And I think it'll come. I think these next couple of rounds, you're going to see Hunter Lawrence start to flourish. And I mean, he hasn't said it, but I mean, he was ready to race the East Coast. He wasn't prepared to race West. And so he's kind of racing into form. And I think he's going to start to catch it.
I think he's the only one that can consistently be able to keep up with Christian.
It's hard to say because you look at Christian, he came from dead freaking last and on the dirt to third. So, I mean,
it's a 6-point difference right now.
Yeah, and I mean, if Hunter, well, who's in second, Mosman or Hunter?
Hunter.
If Hunter wins and Christian gets third, then they're tied. So yeah. I mean, it's so close right now. I mean, it's still pretty early and guys are still getting situated. So there's a lot of shimmying to be made still.
And, Vince got the fourth. I was texting Vince congratulating him, but, that had to be painful for him. He almost got that podium.
Yeah.
It was a good ride by him. He started 7th, which is sort of rare for him. That's like an average start for him, in his career.
I picked the finish line, like first the finish line.
Yeah. Shimoda, 5th.
He's so hit or miss.
I had higher expectations.
Yeah, I think everyone had higher expectations for Shimoda, and
as well for Thrasher.
Hopefully he turns it around. I really like Shimoda. He rides hard. He lays it out there. So I hope he can turn it around. If not, that's a pretty big bummer, but it's how it goes, I guess.
Yep. And Mumphy got 6. Congrats to him.
He was high up there for a long time. He was. He had to lead the first lap, I think.
He did. He started 3rd. Mumphy 6, Jalik 7th. I think that's something we have to talk about. That something we saw last year, and it just proved it again this year. Last year they're lapping 5th place, and now they just lap 7th.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem.
Do you think that? And I haven't heard anyone ask this question, and I think people are gonna love to hear this question on the podcast. Is we see people getting lapped up to 7th place. That's just non-existent in the 450 class, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Not just for entertainment-wise, but for riders as well. Do you think it's time that they just combine 250? The coast. I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
So here's the thing. If they do that, it basically makes it a B class of the 450s because it's literally you do all 17 rounds and you get paid less money. And they lose a lot of riders in the 250 class. Like all the privateers in the 250 class would be gone because one, they're not getting paid as much as the 450 guys. They make quite a bit less. And say they do all 17 rounds, they're only going to be privateers doing half the coast. They're not going to be able to race and compete with the other coast to make their money. And the factory teams would kind of just take over. And I don't know. I think we'd see a decline. It kind of gives guys a little bit more chance to flourish because I think it's hard to come in and race against 22 factory guys because you put them all together and there's going to be 22 factory guys. I don't think they should. I mean, it would be kind of cool, but at the same time, I think it would be hard on the sport.
I definitely agree with you there. And, I'm looking at the results right here, man. Cole Thompson, 8th. Props to him. We had him actually 9th. I apologize. We had him on the show recently, so that's cool to see him. He was
Yeah,
talking
Moto
about
vibe
getting.
that.
Yep, he was talking about getting that top 10. So props to him. That I'd say that was our most fun interview so far.
Yeah, I enjoyed him a lot.
He was a really cool guy. So congrats to him. Carson Brown put the KTM in the top 10.
Yeah, he did
Um,
real.
I forgot to mention, but Thrasher eighth. I don't know.
I don't.
I think that's going to be his hot spot this year.
I think
He may get a
maybe
win
he'll
in.
get lucky and win, but
Yeah.
I think what I really noticed something when Daniel Blair was talking about Nate Thrasher is Nate Thrasher only won at Atlanta, and those tracks were really long. They were super open, and I
He's an
think he
outdoor
just
rider.
flourished. Yeah, and I think if he raced Daytona, he'd probably win. And I don't know. I don't think he's. I think this is basically his rookie year because last year was so difficult because it was kind of an off Supercross year. So I don't know. I think he'll get better by the end of the year, hopefully, but who
Mm-hmm.
knows?
I agree with you, Reese. I agree with you on that, man. And lastly, Marchbanks last. There's nothing in his control about that. But
No.
coming into A2, um, Craig 6 point lead on Lawrence and an 11 point lead on Mosman. And then Freezy in fourth, Shimoda in fifth, Hamaker. Damn, that hurt, man. I
Yeah,
really
seeing
feel bad for
Hammaker out,
Hamaker.
yeah, that
Yeah,
really hurt me too.
he was second in points, tied with Lawrence coming in around three,
Yeah.
and they flip flop races, and that hurt. And I think Marchbanks hurt. I think he's a top five guy. I think he'd be top five in points if he didn't have that DNF. So, it's a part of racing, obviously, but you hate to see it happen.
And it's so rare nowadays because everything is so dialed in, and I mean that we saw two big DNFs. We saw Anderson didn't DNF, but it cost him his
Yeah,
race. And
yeah.
like
And
it's so
did
rare, and it's so unfortunate when it happens too. I mean, you want everyone to finish safely and have a perfect bike underneath them, but you just hate the sport where it happens. It's out of your control, and it's how it
I
goes.
agree. I agree, man. And I don't know. Did you have a chance to watch the A2 track map?
I watched a little bit of it. It's kind of set up like
It looks
it's kind of
technical.
like this one. Yeah, it's going to be technical. There's a lot of long rhythm sections, and
Yep.
there's two sets of whoops again. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with two sets of whoops this year, but it's just
I
their
don't
go
either.
to. It seems like.
And I feel like if you watch like older Supercross versus today's Supercross, there are so many more riders jumping the whoops now.
Oh yeah, and I think that's just a thing. Later in the mains, when they're so chopped, they've learned that
Yep.
it's just easier, and they can save
Mhm.
energy and attack other places. So
I agree. Well, coming into the 450 class, Sexton, whole shot, win.
you just are happy that he won, so you can say that he's the title favorite.
I am happy. I think he is a title favorite.
I think you're an idiot.
I love you too. I love you too, cousin. But I just, I just think he has a speed. I think if you look at speed, take out crashes, you look at speed, he's a top three fastest rider in this class.
Oh yeah, but is he the consistent? He's probably the least consistent in the class.
Dude, fuck off. I'm talking about speed
Dude,
right
that's
now.
not the point though. He is the least consistent in the class. Like it's hard.
Yeah,
He's like a young Ken Roxon. He can go out and win, and then he's like
yeah,
15th the next race.
yeah.
It's hard to give him championship status when he's won one race and he crashes all the other ones.
Okay. Well, congrats to him. He rode great.
Oh yeah, yeah. He rode a great race. I'm not trying to
He
dog him. I'm just saying.
and Yamaha topped off the podium.
Finally,
Tomac and
thank
Ferrandis,
God Ferrandis turned it
and
around.
I think that's something we've been talking about on this podcast. And I think just to take away racing for a second, I think what is so much better about this podcast this year than last year is the consistency on how we do it weekly. We haven't taken a week off.
Yeah.
So we're able to update everyone on everything. And we only have like 50 viewers right now. It sucks or whatever. It's gonna grow eventually.
Oh
Every
yeah.
everything has a startup. But Tomac second, stoked for him.
Yeah.
I think
And
it's
he's
time
the
he put
points
the
leader.
Yamaha.
And he didn't even know. Did you know that? There's a
I
video of him like figuring out that he's the points leader, and he was like mind blown.
Yeah. And I think something that we came into talking about this show a bunch, Ferrandis, what was he going to do after these shitty first two rounds? He turned it around.
Yeah,
Turn it
but
around.
it's so hard because those first two rounds are gonna haunt him.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
for sure.
if he starts to turn it around and starts to click off these podiums and great rides, that 16th and that 17th are gonna be huge at the end of the year.
I agree. I
So,
agree,
and
but
I think that's a lot of the 450 guys struggle with that. Like Kenny's always struggle. Well, no, Kenny's usually won a lot of the openers, but like Webb,
Kenny usually starts off the season pretty well.
yeah, he usually ends on a dud. But
Yeah.
who
No,
knows?
but I think that's a big confidence boost race for Yamaha, the whole team.
Yeah, I mean, Craig come from dead last to what, third, and they had two guys on the podium, and I'm pretty sure wasn't Thrasher in that first turn crash too.
Maybe I have it right here. But no, I mean I think this is the type of weekend that Yamaha needed to have.
Yeah.
Nah, Thrasher was not in that crash, but I think this is awesome for Yamaha. I'm stoked for them, and even Cole Thompson got a top 10.
Yep.
Obviously, he's not on a factory ride or anything. But
no, he's as privateer as it gets, basically. I mean,
yeah, he is.
Girl
I mean,
is his
he's
mechanic.
he's got a wife mechanic. So, but yeah, Cooper fourth. I think, like I said, I think that's going to be a spot this year. I think one thing that Cooper is good at is being consistent. I think he's going to stay within that top 5 a lot this year.
I think Cooper has a chance to win in Arizona in not next round, but the following. Just because if you
walk, they're in Glendale next round.
They go A2, then Glendale, then A3, and then I think Dallas.
East Coast, yeah.
And then, but what I'm saying is, like, if you watch, like, Cooper's never really been a baseball stadium rider. Like, he always turns it on.
He's always later in the season.
The East Coast. Once they hit the East Coast, he starts to kick it off because the year he won his first title, where did he come from behind and beat Kenny by like 0.2? Dallas.
That was Arlington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
think Cooper's
I agree with you.
Ready to turn it on.
I agree with you. And Malcolm P5, I love it. I
think Moke's gonna win one.
I don't think he's gonna win one. Definitely not. But I think his consistency is gonna be what keeps him in the championship run.
Dude, like the average position's got to be like 5th for everyone in the class because like no one's been on the podium twice.
Average finish fourth, 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th, 5th, 7th, 5th, 7th, 8th, and it drops off.
Yeah,
and that's for the top 10. Dude, this is the most fun Supercross we're gonna see for a very long time.
I mean, what's the top 10 separated by like 10 points or something?
And you have those mid-pack guys. Alex Martin led 2 laps in a heat.
Yeah.
That just
doesn't happen.
There's so many fast guys. I mean, Alex Martin was a 250 winner. He won races in the 250 class or a race. I don't remember. He won at Millville.
Yeah.
But I just think it's epic. I mean, there's 13 450 main event winners in this class.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, Chase won, Eli. Yeah. You say Anderson's the favorite?
Dude,
he looks good. He looks good on the Cowie.
Okay, I think if his bike doesn't have an issue with the radiator, he's gonna freaking catch Chase Sexton in that main event. I think 100% chance he wins if that radiator doesn't make a mistake. Like if his radiator doesn't blow.
Yeah, but I mean, he got the 8th, which is good. He had the 9th, but they docked Barsha for that Bogle mishap.
Yeah, Bogle.
Which I mean, Barsha did screw him up.
Yeah, Barsha cleaned him out. Barsha.
It was selfish. It was selfish by Bogle. Be the bigger person. Accept it. know your role, as
And
they
it was
say.
like so obvious. He didn't
It
even
was
try to hide it. Like,
no, but I mean, Malk fifth, Aaron sixth.
Aaron's just kind of right there. He's either going to be on the podium or at 56 range, I think.
Yeah, and I was sort of surprised by Kenny this race. I thought he was going to do better. Seventh is not where I thought I'd see him. I thought I'd see him at least in the top five, but it's
Well, he
whatever.
was there, and then Barsha cleaned his bum out.
Uh-huh. And
But,
then you go into Anderson and Barsha, and then Marv. So I mean, all those guys are winners right there.
yeah. And Marv started out hot, didn't he? Wasn't he up there?
Marv started second.
Yeah.
He led 3 laps. He led 3 laps.
Did he fall?
I don't remember. I really don't.
Because that's a pretty disappointing ride if he didn't fall.
He must have. But we could look at the lap times if you want to talk for a little. But JB Justin Brain 11th. I think this got to be a career ride for Anstey P12.
Maybe. No. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think he got a top 10 one year. I'm not sure though.
Dude, and we don't have to bring up the fact about AC, bro. I'm so upset about that.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean,
I really came into this year thinking, yeah, he's got a shot.
I think he's got to be in trouble for a ride, because they want to move Forkner up, and I mean, Adam hasn't produced. I mean, I love Adam. Don't get me wrong. I've known Adam since I was a kid. I really want him to succeed, but I mean, he hasn't produced, and I think he could be in trouble for a ride if he's not careful.
I'm right there with you. I'm definitely right there with you, and that would suck. This is irrelevant right now. Forkner's not even racing, but I'm not a big Forkner fan. I used to be when he was like first joined, and he was like, "Oh my God, Austin Forkner, he's a shit." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, when he raced against Zacho, and now he's kind of like,
yeah.
I get you.
Yeah. But I feel bad for AC. And I feel bad for Savachi. I hope they both get better. I think Savachi did the right thing with this whole surgery. Safe and sorry.
And
safe
I think,
and sorry.
I mean, that's a sport. There's injuries, and I think Savachi's in trouble because I don't know if he has a 2-year deal or not, but I mean, not many guys want to sign a guy's coming off on a year of injury.
You don't think he's calling it quits soon?
If he doesn't get a ride that he wants, I think he will. But I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, you got to think there's a lot of guys that are going to try to go to the 450 class. Like Craig's already said he's coming. I mean, Jeremy Martin wants to come. Justin Cooper's got to come. Colt Nichols might have to come. So I mean, it's trouble right now. I mean, there's going to be.
I have a feeling. I mean, there's got to be dudes like. I mean, I feel like Freezy's going to call it quits. I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like Braden's got to be done soon, man. He's getting
this is Braden's last year.
Oh, it is. It is. Braden's got to be done.
Man, know your facts, bro.
Didn't Marv say he's almost done?
Yeah, Marv's got to be close. I hate to say it, but
I think. Go ahead.
I mean, I hate to say it, but Marv's close. Kenny's got to be close. I mean, he's had some pretty bad injuries.
And I wouldn't be afraid to say Tomac's close.
I think out of everyone, Tomac will be the longest.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, completely hard to say.
I agree.
I think if Kenny has a really bad year this year and he has a bad outdoor year, he will call it. Just because he's had so much adversity. I mean, he almost lost his arms. I mean, twice. I mean, I don't know. I think Kenny has more things to do than just racing dirt bikes. And I think if he does really well this year, he'll keep racing. But I mean, it's hard to say. I like Kenny a lot, but it's just hard.
I agree, and like you said, Tomac's coming in with the red plate. Do I think he comes out with it? No. No.
Dude, hell, all we can know is freaking Alex Ray could come out with the red plate at this rate. Like, there is no consistency in this
That's the
class.
most random rider you could name out of everyone. You could have gone like Dean Wilson or something. You went Alex Ray. Buddy hasn't made a main this year.
Yeah, actually, that's not even possible that he comes out with a red plate, so that was kind of stupid. But yeah, that's my point, though. There is no consistency. I mean, we have no idea. Who would have thought that Tomac would come out with a red plate, not even winning a race?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no one. That's the point.
And one podium. One podium.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, dude, Tomac has how many points does Tomac have?
59.
59. You can score 26 in a race. I mean, 26 and 26, bro. That's
I mean,
52.
look at Anderson. He's 13, 26, 15, and Kenny's 26, 10, 16.
Yeah, there's no consistency.
I said it at the beginning of this. I said it at the beginning of this season. Consistency's going to win you a championship in this 450 class.
And in my eyes, I think Anderson's the most consistent right now. I mean, he got cleaned out as the first race. Yeah. Then he got bike issues at the third one.
Him and Mookie.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be weird. So.
And I think someone else that we should talk about privateer wise. I like Hartraft.
Yeah. Sorry guys, that was my mom. Yeah, I mean, Hartraft's quick, and I don't know if you can count him as a privateer because it's like he's on.
You can't count him as a privateer because one, it's the highest tier for Suzuki. Two, no one calls Max Anstey a privateer, and they're on the same team. Oh no, they're not.
Yeah, they are. Oh well, not anymore.
Anstey switched to KTM.
I mean, you call Bogle a factory guy, even though he just rides around. So I mean, who knows, bro? I mean, the factory and privateer status is just so stupid. There's a factory, there's middle class semi teams, there's bottom half privateer teams who are just hauling bikes around for guys, and then there's a privateer who goes out of a sprinter van. That's how it should go.
There's so many fast mid tier guys that I love watching the 450 LCQ because you have Hartraft, Chiz, Alex Martin, Mitchell Oldenburg, Josh Hill, Starling, Clayson, Norin. I mean, hell, A-Ray. There's been a few other guys that haven't made it that I probably can't even name. I mean, Bogle's an LCQ guy at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't even want to start about Bogle. I mean, yeah. But what I was trying to get at is like AC and Savachi are done for the year. So I mean, there's 2 more spots in the main for privateers, and I don't know. I think they said something about Tickle coming in and riding for AC in that Cowie spot. So who knows? I mean,
where'd you hear that from?
I saw something on Instagram.
Oh my god!
Fever or something.
No, give it to some privateer. A-Ray got that factory Yamaha ride.
And then at Glen Helen he ate crap. I remember that.
He did. But yeah,
classic A-Ray, man.
Classic A-Ray. But A2, we're coming into A2. Let's finish this up with a little A2 expectations. Let's predict our 250, 450 podiums. Why don't you go ahead first with the 250 podium, man?
All right, in third, I got Joe Shimoda. I think he gets one. Second, I think I'm going to put Christian Craig. And then first, I'm going to put Hunter Lawrence. Yeah. I've picked Hunter Lawrence for the first 4 rounds. I think it's about to pay off, hopefully.
Yeah.
If it doesn't pay off, I'm never picking him the rest of the year.
I'm a big Hunter fan. I'm a bigger Hunter fan than I am Jet. I don't see... I want to entertain the Moto Lads fans. I don't see Hunter doing well this week. I think he makes a mistake or something. I like Oh God, I want to see Marchbanks on the podium so badly.
And say it.
Marchbanks third.
All right.
I'm going Craig second. And I like the confidence level of Mosman.
So you're gonna pick Vince Freezy. I got you, dog.
I got Mosman P1.
All right,
I
we'll
got,
see.
and then in 450, I'm gonna go Anderson 3. I'm gonna go Tomac 2. And I'm gonna go. I think he gets the job done this weekend. I think I'll go Coop 1. And I hate it. I hate to say it.
Yeah, it's a hard one to pick.
Like I feel bad for Coop because so many people dislike him because there's so many Kenny fans out there. But you gotta
uh,
respect what he does.
oh yeah, he's a dog. I mean, he comes from behind and everything, and he has a chip on his shoulder. And I don't understand. I've never understood why he has such a big chip on his shoulder, but he always has.
Yeah. Who you
I
got?
think Kenny's gonna come out. Hang on, changing my mind. I'm gonna put AP on 3. I think he does well. I'm gonna go Jason Anderson at P2. And I think through all the times that this rider has had terrible luck at A2, I think he pulls it off and gets his first one of the year. I think it's going to be Kenny. Because A2 is when he destroyed his arm.
Kenny won the first round, bro.
Oh, shit. Yeah, oh, man, Moto Vibes. I am sorry. I just sounded like an idiot. Well, he's had a lot of trouble at A2 before. I mean, that's when he destroyed his arms. So I think he's going to win and get his second one of the year because I am an idiot.
Agree, you are.
Oh, man. I get it from my cousin, everyone.
Yeah.
So, oh, man.
All right. Well, I mean, I think it's time we wrap it up and we'll see how these picks turn out.
All righty, Motor Vibes. We are heading out. Have a good week.
Deuces.
Peace.